you absolutely hate getting Lancea? Well, me too. In this video, we're going to be reviewing everything you need to know about Maliss for the upcoming Supreme Darkness format. We're going to look at a full deck list, including side deck, and then we're going to look at 3 different combos, 2 one-card combos, and a combo that plays perfectly under Lancea and ends up with a pretty formidable board. And of course, some new spicy cards we haven't seen played in Maliss before. Let's dive in. So this is by far my most favorite deck out of this format. Already done pretty well in tournaments with it so far this format, but now we're going into a new format, Supreme Darkness, with brand new cards, and this is the video you need for everything there is to know about Maliss. We're gonna go over my deck list. I topped both of my sneak peek events with this list, and then we're gonna be discussing 2 combos that are one-card combos that are absolutely insane, and of course, how to play under Lancea. You don't really care about Lancea in this deck. Let's jump into the deck profile itself. It is 40 cards, mainly because I really want to keep things consistent when it comes to side patterns and stuff. We're going to talk about that, of course. So, you have your main Maliss monsters, and this is pretty much non-negotiable. 3 of your best cards and 1 card starters, 3 Dormouse and 2 White Rabbit. And then, this really changes based on preference and lists. I found that some games that you lose because you just have too many normal summons. And it's a problem with this deck, right? Currently, you might be seeing this after the new support is revealed, but with the new support in Alliance Inside, you're not going to need as many names, or many names will be good enough for you. But we are playing Bestials, which unlock these problematic hands, but there's also a Lure of Darkness that can free up your hand. It's a mix of too many normal summons or not enough names, and this is why I play 5 and 2 Chessy Cat. I usually side out one of the Chessy Cats, honestly, when I'm going second, and this is one of the reasons why. 1 Dotscaper. This card is still really important. I'm not sure after the new support we're going to be playing Dotscaper, but for now, Dotscaper is really good. We are also playing Nightmare Griffin and Nightmare Phoenix here. So this is not always a brick in your hand. A lot of the combos which I've done in the recent tournaments involved discarding Dotscaper and drawing a card with one of the Nightmares because it's so easy to do. So we are playing one of that. We're playing the best engine in the game right now, which is going to be Fiendsmith. Hopefully this gets a reprint soon in the Stampede set, but what this offers the deck is pretty similar to what the Kashtira engine and the Sky Striker engine offer as well. Additional bodies, grind game, and extension. Basically, this allows you to play under Lancea a little bit better than what the Kashtira engine provides, and it also provides the same amount of bodies and access to things like Harrier Lizardos that the Sky Striker engine provides, and also the board breaking capabilities, right? Because Engraver is sometimes a force to your opponent's cards because it can send cards from your opponent's monsters from your opponent's field. 4 Bestials, which are key engine pieces. Again, because I'm playing Nightmare Phoenix, I decided to play 3 Druids and not play Baldrake. I always want to chain block my Link summons. So first of all, they're a force to your opponent's interactions. And then also, of course, these are engine cards, right? Don't forget that any Maliss name, normal summon, even if it's negated, provides you with 3 bodies. You go up into Link Decoder, and then you use the Bestial to extend, summon back. You have 3 bodies, and now you can start playing. Hand traps. I am playing hand traps in this deck, which are 3 Ash, 3 Nibiru, and also 3 Infinite Impermanence. These are the only hand traps I play, including the Bestials. It rounds it up to 13 overall in 40 cards, which is absolutely fine. You will usually see 1 or 2, and with access to your engines, Bestials, of course, are board breakers, and also Fiendsmith, you can get enough interruptions. These are just the most important ones against Ryziel. You could swap these out for Flawless. It's in the side deck for me, just because in my locals or my events that I participated in, I really did not want to see that card going first. It's just a dead card, and Nibiru can provide you some help in the crackback. So this is the hand trap lineup. And then some more engine, of course. You have 3 Field Spell. I don't play Terraforming just because there's enough extension already. You could swap one of the non-engine cards for Terraforming. I am playing Gold Sarcophagus because it is a straight up starter, and it's a better starter than Maliss and Underground. So we have that, and then we're playing 2 tracks. This is where you could cut one of these for terraforming if you feel like you need more consistency. You usually don't. The problem is seeing too many names and not seeing enough names, right? And we're also playing 2 Allure of Darkness. Just the perfect balance for me. You don't want to see this card every hand, but you do want access to it because it enables your pushes to be much, much better, especially going second breaking boards. Starting your combo and seeing board breakers, this is exactly what you want to see. Give me that texture, baby. Yeah. And now, some utility, of course. We're playing 1 Tactics and 1 Gold Sark. We are playing Thrust in the side, so this becomes a lot better. If you draw it, just infinitely better. You could play 2. If you want to up the deck count from 40 a bit, you could definitely fit in a second Talents. This card is very good this format. It hits... People are playing hand traps like crazy, so it will be live. And usually you'll just draw off of it just to get more advantage because this deck is all about the card advantage. And then... obviously, the mandatory cards are these 4. This is a trap deck, people. Yeah, not much to say about that. Fiendsmith in Paradise is always the interruption you want to go for because in the 1-card combo, you end up with this in the graveyard, right? Just by accessing the Fiendsmith engine, and this provides another layer to your combo. Just so much interruption. These are the main deck cards. Again, 40 cards. Let's go over the extra deck real quick. We have Heartscriptor, we have Whitebinder, and we have Red Ransom. You just need 1 of each. You don't need more. Best card ever. Just incredible cards overall. Fiendsmith Engine. Not much to see here. A few notes here. So this is the Fiendsmith Engine that we're playing. 2 things that I'm not playing. I'm not playing Agnum Day. Just because you don't really have any room and you don't need help killing whatsoever. I'm also not playing Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is just a good boss monster. It's good removal, but you do have some combos in Fiendsmith lines with Maliss that you can just make an unaffected light and light Chaos Angel into a Maliss board without using... without having the detonator pop anything on your field. It's never possible for them to pop. However, the reason why I decided to cut it is because that is usually only possible when they set up a full field, which includes the field spell, which just wrecks this combo, right? So it's just a waste of a card. I did not play this time. I even played 1 tournament without the sequence. It was actually fine, but I think overall, it's just better to end on. It's just better for Lancea, specifically. If you get hit with Lancea, and I'll show that combo again during the later half of the video, you will see why sequence is actually important here. Some Cybers, tech cards that are important. We're still playing Splash and Link Decoder. We're not playing Lingaribo or Link Spider. You don't need them with the Fiendsmith cards. You have enough extension, enough bodies. However, Splash Mage is still... It doesn't really happen in this deck, but it's still, when you open like a pretty subpar combo, like Gold Sark as a starter, Underground as a starter, maybe even in some cases just Chessie and Abystial, you sometimes end up needing this. So this is still required, in my opinion, for the deck. And then some additional cards. Nightmare Phoenix could be other things, right? If you're looking for the flex spot, this might be the flex spot, right? I think it's so good to be able to draw off of this and discard cards like Light Fiends to the graveyard if you need them, and Dotscaper, of course. This could also be Lina, the Light Charmer, the Link 2, which you can access pretty easily in this deck, again, with your Fiendsmith cards. But what's more important is that in the mirror match, you can steal your opponent's Lancea with it, and then Lancea them back on their turn. So keep that in mind with Artifact Lancea. And Lina, if you want to get rid of this, but this just because the arrow is so easy to draw cards. SPL Knight is important for your 1-card combos, actually, same as Haggard Lizardos, and these are like the Link 2 extenders and utility. And then the bosses of this deck are Nightmare Griffin, which I'm going to show exactly what it does. If you're not familiar with this card, it's a generic Link 4 that requires only 2 monsters. On Link Summon, you can discard a card and then target a spell or trap in your graveyard and set it to your field. We're going to do that to the GWC. And, of course, you draw cards if it's co-linked. So you're going to draw the free discard that you're going to discard. And then it has a pretty neat floodgate effect where special summon monsters that are not linked cannot activate their effects. So your opponent's monsters have to have a link arrow pointed at them in order to activate effects. That is very hard, specifically for Ryziel to pull off, and this just wins you games. And the reason why we make it is so that we combine it with another new card called About Aku, the Lightless Shadow. This card is incredible. It is also a link 4 that requires 2 monsters, including a fiend, and it has very interesting effects. So they have, this card has effects, 2 effects during the main phase that you can choose from. You discard a card and then activate one of the effects. You either destroy a card on the field non-targeting, which is great, or you banish it until the end of the turn, and then special summon without targeting a monster that is light or dark from your graveyard to your field. It also has another effect. During your standby phase, you draw cards equal to the number of different types of monsters in your graveyard, and you put the same amount of cards back from your hand. So essentially, in this deck, if you even get to your next standby phase, because you usually win during turn 1 if you have this on the board, you just draw between 4 and 6 cards, depending on your combo. 4 and 6 cards, put back 6. it's kind of incredible. And then the last boss monster, which is super essential. This card has never been better in any other deck. Access Code Talker. It's just a beast. Now to the side deck, it's going to differ from your preference. I'm going to go over it pretty quickly. But this is the side deck that I played in the tournaments. It was 3 Fualos. I played 3 Lancea. And then I also played 3 Book of Eclipse, which is, I've seen people play Book of Moon, actually. Cannot be ashed, and usually sometimes as good. This could be going first against in the mirror match as well, pretty good. But again, really important to break the Ryziel board. So you have 3 Fua, 3 Lancea, 3 Eclipse, and then 3 triple Tactics Thrust. This card is really crucial going first because when you get Lancea, it enables you to set up one of these cards. Either Dimensional Barrier to call Xyz and prevent your opponent from playing Ryziels altogether, or Artifact Sanctum to summon the Lancea. And then the last card is Harpy's Feather Duster, which is really essential both in the Maliss matchup and in the Ryziel matchup to get rid of your opponent's back row. Either forces a Desiree or just gets rid of the field spell, which is just so important in the grind game. So this has been the portion of this video where we discuss the deck, but now let's look at the combos that this deck can provide. But before that, if you do want to support the channel and help me grow even more and buy a lot more QCRs to show you, please consider supporting me through one of my sponsors, sleevechief.de, to get some neat accessories for your deck, or tier0games.com, which you can order cards from every time a set comes out, but also pick up some nice sealed boxes or structured decks. So for the combos, we're going to start off with the 1-card Dormouse combo. It's going to be 3 combos. One is going to be Dormouse, the second one is going to be White Rabbit, and the third one is going to be your combo under Lancea, which also is just a 2-card combo with any Maliss card and your Fiendsmith engine. So here we go. This is your combo. Shout out to Team Oni on YouTube. I'm going to link their page down below because a lot of these combos and these innovations are from their channel. So we're going to start off by normal summoning Maliss Dormouse, of course, and we're going to be banishing White Rabbit. White Rabbit, pay 300, special summon back, and this, of course, always, as usual, sets you a copy of TB11. Now, this gets interesting because we're going to go up linking those into our very own Moon of the Closed Heaven, which we're going to link away, summon the Requiem. Requiem effect is going to trigger, and then we go ahead and summon our Lacrima. Lacrima sends the Engraver to the graveyard, and this gets you the setup that you need to have Fiendsmith in Paradise during your opponent's turn. Now we're going to shuffle back the Moon to summon back the Engraver, and then use these 2. You of course have all the light links, light fiends that you need to make the Lizardos right here. Now we're going to use the Lizardos effect. We're going to banish the Dormouse, pay 300 to bring it back. And then what we are going to do is use these, of course, to make ourselves a copy of Red Ransom. Ransom is going to go ahead and search for our field spell, which we're going to keep in the hand because we will need this. And then, similar to the regular combo, we're going to use TB11 here to summon the Chessy Cat from deck to our field. Now, once we have Chessy here, we're going to use the effect of Red Ransom to bring back, and then, of course, we're going to also banish a Cyberse monster from the deck, which is going to be Dotscaper, which will activate the effect on banish, and of course, summon itself back to the field. Now, our hand is basically as follows. We have 4 more cards in hand currently. Doesn't really matter what they are. They are blanks that we're going to use throughout the rest of our combos. Okay. Now, we're going to use Link Dotscaper here into Link Decoder. And then we're going to use all of these to make ourselves a copy of White Binder. White Binder is going to target Chessy Cat to banish. And I usually like to banish either one of these, right? So let's say we're going to banish the TB11 here. And then Link Decoder is going to be Chain Link 2 to summon itself because we summoned a Link Cyberse with 2300 attack. So this is where we are now. If you have other Maliss cards, this is the time to use Chessy Cat right here. And then what we are going to do before we link it off, we activate the White Binder effect to set a copy of GWC from the deck. Okay. Now, so far, pretty standard. Now it's going to get crazy. Okay. We use these 3. Link Decoder is banished. And we make the Hearts Cryptor here in the Extra Monster Zone. And now, what we are going to do here is we're going to be using GWC, banishing your Hearts Cryptor, and we're going to summon back Red Ransom. Right? Now we're going to pay 900, summon back the Hearts Cryptor. Zoning here is pretty crucial, and we get back 2300 life points from the GWC. Now, we activate the field spell, and we go ahead and banish the White Binder, pay 900, bring it back, and draw an additional card. Okay? Now, we link these 2 off for Nightmare Griffin. Nightmare Griffin is co-linked. We activate the effect, we discard to set the GWC back from the deck. And then we turn these 2 into a Bow, a Coup, the Lightless Shadow, of course, in the Extra Monster Zone, right? Now, what we do from here is we activate the Bow, a Coup effect. We discard a card. We didn't draw from Griffin here, right? We did? Did we? We did. Yeah, we did. No, we didn't, actually. Yeah, we drew from White Binder. So we have these 4 cards are intact, actually. And this is important because you don't want to be losing card advantage. We activate a Bow, Coup, discarding 1 card and banishing it until the end phase to bring back Nightmare Griffin in the middle main monster zone. End phase, a Bow, Coup comes back. Your opponent currently, we're not giving them any arrows, right? So if you have an arrow pointing up, that gives them an arrow to activate the effect. And now this is basically our end board, right? 4 cards in hand. This was a 1-card combo. And look at what we have here. We have this card, which is extremely, extremely strong, which provides you with a huge floodgate that is on its own extremely impactful. But it can also lose to something like a Rizal Ext, so consider that. But even if this gets outed, this can bring it back. Otherwise, this is an additional pop. Now, from here, we have GWC, which can bring back White Binder, right? Which can activate the effect to banish. You already have the White Binder in graveyard, and of course, the Cryptor, which can both come back. They are both linked, and now we can use this to get another interruption, to get MTP on the board, which guarantees you banish 1 from grave, banish 1 from field, and banish another 1 from field with 4 cards in hand. This is the end board here, and of course, during your opponent's turn, and we don't currently even have room for this, but don't forget, you still have setup for your Fiendsmith in Paradise, right? So even if you want to pull that earlier, you can do that. If something gets stopped, you can do that as well. But this is basically just insurance. Now, this was the 1-card Dormouse combo. Let's go into... Oh. So this was the one card Dormouse combo, and now let's take a look at the one card White Rabbit combo. So the White Rabbit combo basically does the same thing without the hard scripter. It's the same end board exactly as we've seen now, but just without the hard scripter. So we're just gonna go over that really quickly, and we're gonna start. White Rabbit sets TB11. Activate TB11, go ahead and banish, summon from deck our Dormouse. From here, we're gonna go into the same Fiendsmith stuff. This of course comes back, and then you're gonna go over the same exact Fiendsmith line that puts everything that is good and great about this deck into the graveyard, just to have setup and of course have bodies to play with, right? So this is gonna summon us back the Lacrima. Lacrima sends Engraver, and then Engraver summon itself back by shuffling our Moon, and then we link it off, and we go ahead and make ourselves a copy of the Lizard. Lizard, as cost, will banish the Dormouse here, and then what we're able to do from here, we can actually use the Dormouse effect right here. It's actually absolutely fine. We can go ahead and go for Chessy Cat to banish, bring it back. And now what we're going to do here is link these two off for Red Ransom. Now in this combo, you don't need the field spell. So you could just draw cards from Chessy Cat. We search on summon, the Underground, and then we can just go ahead and directly use our copy of Chessy Cat to draw two cards, right? Two blanks, doesn't really matter. Probably prefer to draw just like any two blanks. There we go. So far, so good. And we go ahead and link these two off and make SP Little Knight. Little Knight is going to banish the Red Ransom. We pay 900 to bring it back. And then we banish, as part of the same effect, our Dotscaper, which is going to come back. So we have SP Dotscaper. Of course, this will not be in defense position. Comments. Now, we have an arrow here to turn this into our good friend Link Decoder. And then we use all three and go for Binder. Binder is going to activate. We already used all of our effects to banish. So again, we're just going to use the same line here. And of course, bring back the Link Decoder. Link Decoder is going to be right here. And we banish that, even though we already have a card banished. We have Binder effect to set the GWC. GWC will banish, bring back Red Ransom to the same zone here. We gain 2,300 life points, and then Binder comes back from banished. We draw an additional card, and then we turn these two into Griffin. Griffin is gonna discard one card and set back the GWC, and also draw an additional card. And then what we have is we turn these two, of course, as we've done in the first combo, to a Baoku, which can now activate the effect, discard a card, banish itself until the end phase, and summon back the Nightmare Griffin. In this case, we drew it, but it doesn't really matter. So we have the same amount of interruptions, the same amount of stickiness on the board. We still have actually 5 cards in hand because we drew off of Chessy Cat. And of course, we have the Floodgate, we have the Pop, we have Banish 3 with White Binder. We have either you drew this or you didn't. It doesn't matter because you already have, of course, the Rabbit here. And in this board, it's going to be a little bit easier to also set up the Fiendsmith interruption, because when you activate the GWC, you can just go ahead and use Binder for Rabbit, right? Rabbit is going to set you the MTP that you're missing, and then what you can do is go ahead and summon the Requiem, which can then summon the Lacrima. It's linked, so it can activate the effect here. And then, of course, we can send our Fiendsmith in Paradise for another interruption. So that's a ton of interruptions. These are the two one-card combos, really easy to understand, really easy to pull off. These two cards are great. I mean, sometimes what will happen is that you get bestialed on this. This could happen. This is still a really, really strong interruption on its own. Now, let me show you the combo for how to play when you get Lancea'd. You go first. Draw phase, standby, main. Wait. In draw phase, they drop it. Any other Maliss player will be in shambles right now, but not you, because this is what you're gonna do. So everything that you need here is just any Fiendsmith card, which is gonna be tracked or engraver, and any Maliss monster whatsoever, right? Just have it in the hand. It does not need to have an effect, okay? Usually it's better, obviously, to have one with an effect, but in this case, I want to show you that it doesn't really matter. So we start off, we're under Lancea. We start off with Engraver. We go ahead and activate Tracked here. And then we're going to go Lurie, discard Lurie, special summon Lurie back. And then you already know this combo, guys. I don't need to teach you how to play this. Requiem, effect, summon back from the deck our very good friend Lacrima, the Scarlet Crimson Tears, which is going to dump us another copy of Engraver. Now, Engraver Boy is going to go ahead and shuffle back the Lurie. And then what we're going to do here is link these two. And this is, of course, guaranteeing that you actually play sequence. That's the whole point. If you don't play sequence, this line becomes a little bit weaker. You still get a Maliss setup because you will have 3 bodies from this. You just saw we had 2 bodies and another one, and we have it normal summoned. But we are going to go ahead and shuffle these 3. We do leave this in grave because this will provide us with follow-up later, right? Once these hit the grave, you will have another engraver to summon. So these all go back to the deck. We have our engraver here, and then we go ahead and summon the Desiree. So now we've summoned the Desiree here. We still have the sequence, and you have any Maliss name which you normal summon because you still have not normal summoned, which will get you a copy of White Binder. It's going to be in the extra monster zone, of course. You activate the effect here, and you set yourself a copy of MTP-07. Now, of course, don't forget to equip your Fiendsmith sequence here. And this is your end board under Lancea. 3 cards in hand. You have follow-up with the Fiendsmith cards, and you still have a Banish, non-target, and Desiree effects. And of course, Desiree will eventually send itself, then send another card on the field. And, you know, this is under Lancea. Basically, what you have with the Kostra engine is essentially SP and Unicorn. So I think these two provide more utility, more interruptions, and also eventually more cards in hand. This is your Lancea combo. And yeah, this is it. This has been 3 combos and a full deck list of my Maliss Fiendsmith deck for the upcoming Supreme Darkness format. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, because I'm sure you're going to point out some of my mistakes. So let's see who's good enough to do that. Don't forget to check out my sponsors. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.